is a presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
This ACC Tuesday brings us to Ice Station, Syracuse, 2 degrees Fahrenheit in upstate New York. Tonight, we're in the Carrier Dome where the stars are about to come out. Wake Forest makes its first conference road trip of the new year, and the Orangemen of Syracuse have won 6 straight games. Carrier Dome should be rocking. Let's take a look at the ACC standings because everybody's talking about the top 2. They're the undefeated teams in the ACC. Mike Bray's Notre Dame team has everybody talking. Duke lost his game this past weekend, so that's the way it looks tonight. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brand along with Dan Bonner. Glad to have you along. Dan, when you look at this game, let's go underneath. That's where the battles will take place tonight.
I don't think there's any question about that. And one of the reasons that that's going to be so important in there is in Devin Thomas. Wake Forest has a guy who literally, over the last 3 games, is playing as well as anybody in the country. This guy is a guy who's strictly around the basket. He can shoot a little bit of a jumper, but he gets to the goal. He's a great rebounder. He's going to go up against Rakeem Christmas. Christmas, of course, plays the middle of that Syracuse zone, and Christmas is one of the most improved players in college basketball. What are we looking at tonight? I think an old-fashioned power matchup inside.
Should be fun. Christmas, a big space eater in there with 39 blocks already this year. So it's Wake Forest and Syracuse, ACC Tuesday from the Carrier Dome in upstate New York. The band plays on at the Carrier Dome, and this game has been terrific so far in the first half. A 10-point lead by Syracuse, and now they trail by 1. Take a look at the shot analytics and Rakeem Christmas.
Well, and you can see there's no secret there. On the inside, that's where Christmas is at his best, and that's certainly where he's been at his best today. He's made 6 of 11 field goal attempts, all of them close to the basket. Now look at here, there's 4 guys. You can see 4 Wake Forest players and Rakeem Christmas in your picture right there. And despite that pressure, Christmas is still able to be patient, get himself on balance, and make a strong move with that jump hook.
Rakeem got off to that quick start tonight. Confidence was high. Plus, I think the challenge of going against Devin Thomas had him fired up.
And Wake Forest got a big lift from Middleglue coming off the bench, and the Deeks have stopped turning the ball over, although they get a turnover right there on the shot clock violation.
No, and Wilbekin's got to know better than that. He's your point guard. He's got to know what the clock is. Cody Miller McIntyre, he's experienced. He has to know where the shot clock is.
Well, when we went away to that break, there were 14 seconds left on the shot clock, and sometimes guys come out and they don't pay any attention to that. They figure they have 35 seconds.
Benajay looks inside, goes there. Christmas wants to go in Middleglue. Backs him in and banks it in.
Well, it just bounces him out of the way. Now, the interesting thing, there was nobody on the side, on the same side for Syracuse as Christmas, so Wake Forest could have double-teamed that with impunity.
That'll get Syracuse going back the other way.
And Joseph is on the bench, and Benajay actually functions as the backup point guard.
Benajay actually plays the 1, the 2, and the 3. Roberson knocks down a little short J.
Now, Roberson has missed a couple of jump shots, but he's a guy in that 15 to 18-foot range. If he can be effective, that really helps the Syracuse offense.
That's his first bucket of the night. Shot clock at 15. Wilbekin checks it out. Inside they go. Good battle inside. There's Middleglue again. How about the game he's playing? 5 for 5 from the field from Middleglue.
But Devin Thomas draws a lot of attention, and because he draws that much attention, McClinton is able to get in and get the offensive rebound. And once you get that first offensive rebound, it's hard if you're the defensive team to block out, and nobody blocked out Middleglue on the miss.
Thomas and Christmas really banging down low.
Now, there's no secret about where this ball should go.
Great job by Devin Thomas to fill the lane and get off Christmas. Cody McIntyre is fouled by Cooney.
That's some really good speed by Miller McIntyre. He just shifted into a new gear.
How about these two bumping and grinding?
Well, now, we talked about how it was going to be a power game on the inside, and it's been all of that. Just nice job by Christmas. Wake could have double teamed because there was nobody left over there. Here, McClinton gets the rebound. The ball goes scored out of his hands right to Mitiglu, who has been right around the basket all night long.
They double out on Miller McIntyre. And the ball was lost by McClinton.
And who did they call that foul on? Was that foul against Robers? They called that on Christmas. Jim Boeheim would much prefer that have been on Tyler Roberson.
Closed captioning for ACC basketball. Brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. 1 point game, 1:46 to play in the first half. New 35 for Wake Forest. Again, and now he's 6 for 6.
He is feeling it today, and that ball barely touched his hands before he let it go. Talk about being ready to shoot.
Boy, Cooney's way outside, lets it fly, bottoms!
That's a great pass by Rakeem Christmas and a very good look. Christmas has been so effective in there. Everybody turns and looks at him, and Cooney goes and finds the open three. What a nice play by those two young men.
Syracuse by 2. Mitiglu knocks it away, saves it way out front, but taken back. How about the block? Miller McIntyre got back and knocked it away.
This is a tremendous play by Miller McIntyre. Syracuse haven't had one of these turnovers for a while, but here they get one. The nice tip away. Miller McIntyre doesn't give up on it, just comes in and swats it away. And maybe you could hear as he swatted it away, he said, "Give me that."
Well, with Chris McCullough out and DeJuan Coleman out, he's already been out for the year. Ron Patterson's got to play more. And he went, but not strong to the rack, and Miller McIntyre knocked it away. Takes this one at the basket again and comes up short. Last touch by Wake. It'll belong to Syracuse. Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we've got highlights and stats as well as scores from around the ACC. We'll also look ahead to the future ACC network telecast. That's all coming up on the Hardy's halftime report.
And there's Andre Washington in the game for these last 40 seconds. Devin Thomas goes to the bench and he picks up the foul, trying to tip the ball away from Rakeem Christmas.
Washington, another one of those Hargrave Military Academy guys that made their way to Wake Forest. Greg McClinton, another one.
That's only the 6th team foul against Wake Forest here in the first half, so nobody's in the bonus yet.
38.6 seconds left in the first half. A new 35-second shot clock. No hurry for Syracuse here. Benedict calls out the offense. Cooney being well guarded by Miller McIntyre.
Joseph takes a look at the clock. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to go. Joseph drifts into the paint, has it knocked away, gets it back. His shot is blocked, and that's a violation.
Part of the problem with running the clock down like that, when you have a point guard like Joseph who's not looking to score, he's not a scorer. So if they cut off his options, he's not really a guy capable of driving to the basket and creating the shot. So Syracuse, with they've got that short bench as you talked about. Logistically, that was a little bit of a tough situation.
Timeout taken by Wake Forest. As you look at Jim Boeheim, he's coaching and instructing on better clock use. What a half by this guy.
Well, Dinos Mitiglu, you talk about getting the guy coming off your bench and helping you out, giving you a lift. Mitiglu has knocked down 2-pointers. He's hit 3-pointers. He's tipped it in on the offensive end. This guy almost single-handedly got the Wake Forest Demon Deacons back into this game.
Dan, that's one of the best first half lines I've ever seen. Mitiglu 6 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, 2 for 2 at the foul line, 3 rebounds, a terrific half. by the youngster from Greece.
It is hard to play better than that in a half. Some guys don't have a career like that.
Reminds me of you at Virginia.
Well, what, the career?
You were a good player. One of Dean Smith's favorite. Miller McIntyre, good if it goes,
Oh,
yes!
good heavens!
What a way to end the half.
Miller McIntyre is a 25% three-point shooter, but this ought to be worth about 5. He was right in front of our table. Look at this. He's on the J of Jim Boeheim court and knocks it down. My heavens. What a way to end the half for the Demon Deacons. They trailed by, what, 12 early in this half?
Incredible comeback.
Right on the loop of the J, a nice arcing shot. And everybody in here just shaking their heads.
You mentioned her first trip to the Carrier Dome. They're showing up. The Demon Deacons lead by 1. We'll be back after this. Wake Forest with its largest lead of the game with 17:09 to play. Hey, Dan, you've been coaching us up and breaking it down. Take a look at the shot analytics.
Well, the interesting thing here, Darius Leonard has just knocked down 2 3-point shots from the top of the key. And as you look right there, the blue means he doesn't shoot it very well from out there. Only 18% from that shot from that spot, but he has just knocked down 2 in a row. The Syracuse defense a little slow reacting back to him. And he has made them pay. You know, in the first half, Mitiglu knocked down a couple of threes that really helped get Wake going. And now in this half, it's Darius Leonard that gets the Demon Deacons off and rolling.
Let's see how Syracuse responds out of that timeout. Jim Boeheim was coaching his guys up. Roberson looked at it, brought it back. Christmas banks it in.
When Christmas, he's not looking to pass the ball tonight when he gets it in there. And interesting, they pass it to him and everybody runs away from him. There's nobody on the same side of the floor with Christmas.
Christmas is having a monster game.
Christmas is doing a great job getting himself positioned on the inside. He's got 2 players on him, but he spins away from the double team, goes to the baseline, and gets that little jump hook up and in.
He's been very efficient. 9 for 14, 18 points. Cody Miller McIntyre went over and got a little instruction from Danny Manning. They kick it back out. Mitiglu for 3. Again!
You know, they really ought to start guarding him out there.
They ought to guard him everywhere.
He hadn't missed a shot tonight.
7 for 7. Benajay steps back beyond the arc.
See, Syracuse is really going to struggle to score if Benajay is not going to shoot the ball any better than that. Now, Mitiglu, he comes off the bench. Remember, he's been in the locker room, and like everybody else at halftime, he comes off the bench. Look at the white shirts. They're all down close to the basket. Mitiglu just steps back beyond the three-point line. No pressure at all. This is a guy, he's got to be cold, you know. And he's just in the game. Off it goes. Obviously, he's feeling it tonight.
His career high, 19 points. Good pass, Mitiglu again. He's unconscious tonight. 8 for 8.
Again, he catches that ball and it's released immediately. That's like Bill Mazeroski turning the double play at second base. The ball hardly touches his hand and it's gone.
9-point lead for Wake Forest, their largest lead of this game.
Wake Forest getting the ball from one side to the other, but Mitiglu finds the open spot in that short corner area, and just as soon as the ball hits his hands, it's gone.
Yeah,
he didn't bring it down. I mean, that's a perfect pass, and he's a young man. He's ready, and he lets it go. And on a night like tonight, he just doesn't feel he can miss it all.
And he hasn't.
And now, remember we talked about the scoring droughts for Syracuse. Well, right at the moment, Wake Forest is on a 13-3 run. So Syracuse coming out in the second half and suffering one of those scoring droughts again.
Mitiglu smiling a little bit, enjoying the night.
Well, he should be smiling more than a little bit.
I don't know. I see a guy smile. It's almost like he's coming out of the zone, realizing what's happening. I'm not sure I'd want him to wake up. Nice pass down low. Power move by Christmas and backs it in. He'll go to the line for one more.
Well, this has been the Syracuse offense all night long, but particularly here in the second half. The ball just goes inside to Rakeem Christmas. It is a 7-point ball game. And Danny Manning gets a timeout. What an entertaining basketball game we've had here tonight. And what a great atmosphere, Tim. You're absolutely right. These people here in Syracuse, great fans. They like their team, and they really like basketball.
Trevor Cooney, 6'4", 195, redshirt junior from Wilmington, Delaware. Couple of great games right in a row.
Wow, Trevor Cooney made 7 3-point baskets against the Florida State Seminoles. You see 7 for 11. So obviously when Cooney is going to be hot, that really helps the Syracuse offense. And he kept it going tonight. He has been under heavy pressure most of the evening. But Trevor Cooney knocking down 5 3-point baskets, including this one that's basically an impossible shot, but down it goes.
Keep in mind, it was just a week or so ago. He was only 4 of 13 from the field against Virginia Tech.
And there in his last 2 games, look at that, 12 for 21 from beyond the arc. So now Wake Forest trying to set up some pressure. Now something to keep in mind, Tim, as you pointed out before, Michael Benajay, only a 40% free throw shooter. And so if you're Wake Forest and you're looking for somebody to foul, Benajay obviously is going to be in the game and he's going to have the ball in his hands.
60 seconds to play. Shot clock at 10. Trevor Cooney. Stop, pop, can't get it. It belongs to Syracuse with a new 35.
Now, and we're in the last 2 minutes of the game. The officials can go look at this one.
I think that's a good call. It was Wilbekin who got it, knocked it down on the line.
And under the rules, in the last 2 minutes of the game, the officials are allowed to go look at this one. So now Wilbekin hit it, but did it hit the Syracuse player out of bounds? Did it hit Patterson out of bounds? Ball still in bounds. All right, that does look like it's off Wilbekin, but keep it rolling there. I think the ball, does it hit the line or does it hit Patterson's foot?
I think it just hit the line.
Okay, they agreed the ball is off Wilbekin, so it'll be Syracuse ball. See, the ball isn't out of bounds until it hits something out of bounds. That could be the floor or it could be the foot of Patterson. All right, a lot of space in there, so it didn't hit the foot of Patterson.
One of our producers, Scott Credit, was a manager for Jim Boeheim. He just fell off his chair. Final 50.5 seconds. Christmas with a jump hook. No, sir.
Well, that's okay. They've been going there all night. That's a great place to go.
Still no rush if you're the Demon Deacons. Danny Manning wants a timeout.
And that'll be a full timeout for Wake Forest. They want to talk about this one.
So 39.1 seconds left in the game. 27 seconds on the shot clock. And it's 69-68 Syracuse.
And you have to wonder if Danny Manning is sitting over there figuring out a way to get the ball to Dinos Mitiglu. They wouldn't be here without Mitiglu. He has knocked down 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He scored 26 points. He has been a huge offensive factor coming off the bench for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
And while Mitiglu's been doing that, Cody Miller-McIntyre's been attacking the basket, and he's got 17.
Remember, one of the problems for Wake Forest, and it hasn't been that big a problem tonight, they've shot the ball very well from the free throw line, but on the season, this is a very poor free throw shooting team. Miller-McIntyre in conference play coming in, only 52% from the line. Devin Thomas, only a 58% free throw shooter from the line.
1:04 to play, 79-78. This game has been terrific from the get-go. Well, for Syracuse, they've been in some close ones.
First two ACC games came down to the final seconds. Against Virginia Tech, missed three in the closing seconds. Syracuse hung on for a 68-66 win. 4 days later, Georgia Tech had two chances to go ahead in the closing moments, but were unable to convert. Syracuse won that one 46-45. And now this.
Well, keep in mind, Syracuse at the moment one of two conference teams remaining undefeated. This has been a tremendous effort by both teams tonight. Guys making plays one after the other.
And that's a big difference. In the Georgia Tech 1-point win, Jim Boeheim said they played horrible basketball. This game, high level by both teams. One minute. $13 on the shot clock.
That's
down
great,
to 8.
Great defensive pressure by Madison Jones.
Great rebound by Christmas. The bucket doesn't count.
Boy, Rakeem Christmas just keeps working. Devin Thomas is now fouled out of the game. Christmas with the great spin and the rebound. He tries to put it in, and he's so frustrated with himself. He'd really like to have that one, to have the chance for the three-point play, but he'll go to the line. Devin Thomas now out of the game. Thomas had 11 points. He also has 10 rebounds.
Yeah, really played a terrific game. He was 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 4 at the free throw line, 10 rebounds and 11 points.
Well, he had a couple assists as well. He was not as involved in the offense as he has been in the last 3 games, but he was a major factor. Drew enough attention that they weren't paying a lot of attention to Mitiglu early in the game, and that's one of the reasons why Mitiglu has had a big game.
Well, you talked about Christmas at the free throw line. He is a good free throw shooter, but they are magnified now with 43.4 seconds left. Money, just like silk. Trying to make it a 3-point lead.
And Christmas played the last 6 minutes of the game in this entire overtime so far with 4 personal fouls. Got to find the three-point shooters here.
They turn it over. 30 seconds left.
You don't have to foul him right away. Make him give up the ball and foul somebody else, like Patterson, a 33% free throw shooter.
Patterson's going to the line.
And Patterson has only been to the line 6 times this year. He's 2 for 6. Leonard just not able to hold the ball. 2 shots.
Misses the first, and this one is really huge.
I think Jim Boeheim was a little frustrated that Cooney gave up that ball.
Yeah, he was. And Cooney said, "My bad," to Jim Boeheim. Missed them both.
Again,
plenty of time.
Guard the three-point shooters.
1-point game, 13.7 seconds left.
And you notice Christmas stepped out of the way. I think a smart play by Rakeem Christmas right there, not trying to block that shot and pick up the foul. But again, here goes Cody Miller-McIntyre. Patterson reaches for the ball. Why would you reach for the ball in that situation? And as a result, Miller-McIntyre goes right by. And Christmas, with those 4 fouls, can't really afford to challenge him at the basket.
Gotta believe Cooney's gonna have this basketball.
Well,
Because Syracuse wants him at the line.
Rakeem Christmas is a 73% free throw shooter. Cooney an 81% free throw shooter. Tyler Roberson 74%, but he doesn't have a lot of attempts.
What Jim Boeheim was upset about was Ron Patterson went to the line the last time.
Well, I think if you are Wake Forest and you have the chance, you send Ron Patterson back to the line.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to get that chance after it happened once already.
Well, again, Christmas has been very good at the line here in the last few minutes. Cooney, an excellent free throw shooter. Roberson, we said he's only had 17 free throw attempts on the year, 19, excuse me, but he's 14 for 19. So I think if you're Wake Forest, you try to make Patterson or Benajay handle the ball here.
They're trying to keep the ball away from Cooney, obviously, and they fouled Christmas right away. So as you mentioned, he's a good free throw shooter, and he's been good tonight.
Well, see, I think in that particular situation, Wake had time to. Christmas was clearly not going to handle the ball. He was giving it back to Benajay. Wait till he gives it to Benajay and then foul Benajay.
Christmas 5 for 8 at the line tonight.
Yeah, but he started out 1 for 4, so he's been much better recently. Big free throws. He's got 2.
Rolls it in. Minnigley comes back in. Wilbekin comes back in. Both for Wake Forest. This is to make it a 3-point game.
All right, again, if you're Syracuse, your strategy has to be keep the dribblers in front of you and guard the three-point shooters.
They're going to foul him. Don't want to let him have that three-pointer. And so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And again, the person that they fouled, I think Jim Boeheim wanted that foul, but he didn't want it so early. And the person who's going to the line, Cody Miller-McIntyre, coming into the game, 52% from the line in conference play. It's a 1-and-1. You got to block out if you're Syracuse.
And the foul, and that may do it. 8.8 seconds left. Syracuse is going to win it.
Right, now, Tim, don't get ahead of yourself here. Rakeem Christmas is going to the line, and he's got to make at least one of these free throws.
But even if he misses the second, they've got 8.8 seconds left.
Now, just keep in mind that three-point shot that Miller-McIntyre made before the half. Okay, now they can feel a little more comfortable.
Oh, ye of little faith. What a great performance tonight by Syracuse. What a great performance by Danny Manning's Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
What a great performance by Rakeem Christmas. I mean, good heavens.
Nice job. Miller-McIntyre buries a 3-ball.
Well, he did it again.
.3 seconds left.
Boy, they tried as hard as they could to foul Roberson, and they weren't able to do it. So now Cooney's going to get fouled, and here's Miller-McIntyre. That's with Cooney right in his face. Another one of those high arcing shots, not quite as long as at the end of the first half, but this is a long distance three-point shot. Now Cooney's got to make.
Wow. Wow.
Wake Forest out of timeouts.
They need a 3. 2, 1. This is good if it goes.
Oh, good heavens!
Oh, my!
That almost did it again. That's from beyond half court.
Right on line.
And Hudson knew it. Clearly he got that one away before the clock expired, and that almost went in the basket.
How about Wake Forest? Tough loss last week to Louisville, ranked number 5. Tough loss to Duke, number 2. And they come up to Syracuse, their first ever trip to the Carrier Dome, and fall in overtime. But what a win for Syracuse, 86-83 the final. For highlights and must-see moments, go to the ACC.com. Our next telecast, Saturday at noon Eastern at Georgia Tech, takes on Wake Forest at Winston-Salem. You've been watching ACC basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.